And so the thing is like, I've never done Tinder. I just never was interested in doing it. Yeah. Given the experiences that I've had on apps that are supposed to be about people who actually want to have relationships and have deep connections.
Statistically, according to a lot of experts who have come on our show, all signs point to the fact that it is a lot harder for men, that the apps do make it tougher on men to go out on dates. 10 to 20% of all men on the apps get all the attention. 80 to 90% of men on the apps get no attention.
Matched with this very attractive man on Hinge. He looks like probably like an NBA player. Very attractive, stylish, very interesting dude. So within a few texts, I'm like, you want a video chat? We're in the middle of the conversation. He goes, oh shit! And we're cut off. So I just call him right back and he picks up and I hear a woman in the background.
Oh shit!
And he hangs up.
So I've tried to get dates with people and some of them gone through, but a lot of them they just ghost you. I even had a date scheduled and
didn't show up.
She didn't even show up. She didn't even have the courtesy to say, hey, I'm not coming.
Well, guys, this is another episode of I Hate Dating Apps, and I'm Daniel.
And I'm Jinah.
All right, Jinah. So today we're going to do an old school he said, she said, battle of the sexes.
Battle of the sexes.
Battle of the
Bring it
sexes.
on.
We don't have sound effects, so we're just going to go with that. So, it's the age-old question, who's got it worse, men or women?
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to obviously talk about this from the context of dating apps because, that's what this podcast is about, I guess. So, who are our guests today?
So we've got a couple of people here to duke it out. I have my own thoughts on this topic, obviously. But we have dear friends of mine, Akosua and Ryan, who are both living in Southern California. So they decided to join us in the studio. And before we get too much into this topic, I'd love for you guys to tell us a little bit about yourselves and what your dating app experience has been, Akosua.
For sure. So I'm Akosua. I do biotech sales. I've been doing that for like 15 years. It's an interesting job. Gives me a lot of flexibility, meet a lot of people, but not people that you're going to date, right? Because it's like a professional environment. People always say like, oh, you must meet so many people. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to date the doctors that I work with. That's not appropriate. It happens, but I'm not going there. I've been on so many apps. I've been on Bumble. I've been on Match. I've been on Hinge. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. Back in the day, OkCupid, Plenty of Fish. Remember that one?
No, they're still around. They're still around.
Oh God. Yeah. And so the thing is like, I've never done Tinder. I just never was interested in doing it. Yeah. Yeah. I just feel like given the experiences that I've had on apps that are supposed to be about people who actually want to have relationships and have deep connections, like I just figure like Tinder's got to be like 100 times worse, So
they're constantly optimizing these apps, and some apps that I used to love, actually got worse. So it's kind of give or take, but they're all essentially kind of like
they're all
similar.
Essentially the same. Yeah, I mean more or less. And so it's funny because I've been on the apps for years, and I don't know why I'm still on them because nothing substantial has ever happened. I think for me it's like a guilty pleasure pastime that I allow myself to do, to be swiping and think about like, oh, maybe I'll meet my partner or like develop some connections. I have met some nice people, nothing turned into a relationship. I have gone on a few dates, but mostly it's a lot of people who are pretending to be something they're not. Mm-hmm. They're married. Mm-hmm. They're using photos that don't look like them from 10 years ago. There's just a lot of weird things going on. Like, I mean, just last week, I matched with a guy, was super cute, and we started a little chat, and he asked me to send photos. And
you're like, they're on my profile?
That's not the kind of photos he was looking for. So I asked him to send me $50.
And that's how you start OnlyFans.
I mean, my thing is I was never going to send him the photos, but for even asking, he should have to pay me for that shit. Yeah. So of course he unmatched and reported me, which is just so fucked up. But I was like, whatever, goodbye,
You're telling me you haven't had one relationship from years of being on dating apps? Just dates?
Just dates that didn't go very well.
All right, what about you, Ryan?
No one ever asked for my photos, but...
You're the one asking for photos. No, I'm just
Yeah, I've
kidding.
never done that, but so yeah, my name is Ryan. I live in the Montebello, California area. I have my own dog training business. I have lived here for the last 3 years. I used to be in Utah before that, and I've only been on dating apps for 4 years.
Only.
Wow.
For
No, that's
years.
actually short.
Hope
That's kinda
springs
short.
eternal
Yeah.
when he's. Actually, 4 years is not a lot compared to most of my friends. You would think that Utah would be a slightly better place to app date. I just heard that, the bigger the city, the harder it is to app date. But what's your experience been?
Yeah, I started off doing it in Utah, and I only got one date. One date.
Like how long were
And
you
then-
before that you got that one day? How long were you on the apps?
Like 1 year.
1 year.
One year, one date
So
in 1 year.
date in
Wow.
1 year.
And then what about your LA experience?
I would say the same back record, one per year.
Is it because do you like communicate with the matches for a while and then it doesn't go anywhere and then you end up with the one that is a date, or is it because there is such a shortage of matches that you've had on the dating apps?
Well, I had to learn how this whole process works. It is a process, I found out.
Yes.
Maybe for some people it doesn't feel that way. They just get the match and that's it. But yeah, there's like an actual process to go through. First you need to get the match or the like,
Right.
and then you have to have the conversation, and then after that, then you need to get the date, and then after you get the date, then you need to get a second date.
Yeah.
So I'm just barely on the getting first date, second date.
Yeah. So for some people, the
Part.
process is you buy the ticket and then you pick 5 numbers and
Yeah, it's like that. It's like a game.
it
It's
is.
for
It's
sure.
a lottery.
Yeah.
I mean, statistically, according to a lot of experts who have come on our show, as well as like the literature that you read, research that's been done, these aren't heavy duty like Harvard research, but research that people have done kind of anecdotally, as well as the statistics that these apps will give you, right? So it's not the world's most accurate information, probably, but all signs point to the fact that it is a lot harder for men, that the apps do make it tougher on men to go out on dates, and they're just swimming in a sea of, people that they're trying to go after, and none of them are swiping on. What is it, like 10 to 20% of all men on the apps get all the attention. 80 to 90% of men on the apps get no attention. And then on the other hand, the women, 80 to 90% of all women are swiping right on only the top 10 to 20% of men, right? So they're competing in a different way, for the attention of the few. And then nobody's matching because of all of that. And so it becomes a shit show for everybody. But having said that, apparently men do have it worse. I want to hear from you, Akosua, because you...
No, it's settled. You just said it. Men have it worse. We won.
But...
All right, Ryan, we won.
But
High five.
it's clearly a shit show for
Yes.
everybody.
For everyone,
And
yeah.
women just have a horrific time on the apps. And I would say to you that we don't necessarily have it easier just because we have the guise of, having more options. And, I look at you and I'm just like, you're a successful, beautiful, educated, well-spoken, classy
thank
woman. So what is going on? Like, I just do not understand.
I do not understand. One thing I think I might have said this to you before one time when we spoke, I'm just glad that I have not allowed that to change the way that I feel about myself. Like I'm very much aware that there's something very wrong with, the apps and the dating world and
Modern
potentially
love
our
and-
society.
Yep.
So, and so I also have to think a lot about, like, even when you look at these statistics, you have to think about where, right? Because LA is its own very strange place, right?
Yep.
So I don't know. Is it worse for men here or worse for women here? That's got to be different than somewhere like, I don't know, Ohio or something like that.
Yeah.
There's
It was a big
other
culture shock when I moved here from Utah.
there's other things at play. You know what I mean? So for me, honestly, when I go out of the country, I have a great time. On the East Coast, I tend to get a lot more swipes and likes. Even like one time, like it was crazy. Like I was flying, I had to fly to Michigan for an interview and I wasn't looking at the apps at all because I was like focusing on my interview and trying to get the job. And when I came back, my Bumble had blown up.
That happens. Because
And
you're
I
new
was
fish.
like,
You're a new fish in the pond.
maybe, but
So they
I
push you
also
out.
think it's
Definitely that, yeah,
because in LA does not value the type of beauty that I have. That's not my problem. Like,
Tell me about that.
well, I'm black, I'm dark skinned, I have natural hair, you know, I haven't had no surgery. I'm just being honest, you know, and that's not knocking anybody who likes to wear wigs or weaves or extensions or wants to have a BBL. Some of them look great, you know, but I'm just saying I'm not that, and I'm never going to be that, you know.
Every
And
city
so,
has its sort of norm of beauty, right? Miami
Yeah.
is one thing, LA is something, San
Yeah.
Francisco might be something else, New York City. So every city
LA's
has
definitely a lot more plastic.
it's
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. It's
yeah.
more
So
Barbie-
it's really
Barbie
hard
plastic,
to be a woman who has a certain type of like natural beauty. I think again, like I think it's just fortunate that I've been able to distance myself from that. Like I don't know if there was ever a time when I started internalizing it or started feeling down about it. Maybe when I was younger, you know, I did, but I mean, I really didn't stay in that place for very long. And I have a
God.
lot of other things to focus on, you know, that I enjoy doing, you know, so I try to take the focus off of that, you know.
and this is exactly the thing, kind of stuff that dating apps or the digital world will exacerbate, right? Because in the absence of dating apps, the way you'd go about meeting people would be in the physical world. Even if you're in a city like LA, where the general standards of beauty are different, you would go and hang out with other people who have the similar mindset. Right there, you might find somebody who speaks your language, speaks your cultural
Yeah.
sort of sensitivities, right? So we're all in the same tribe. Whereas in the digital world, you're like, it's the machines trying to figure out,
That's
like,
right.
oh, in LA, everybody loves blondes with, silicone breasts. And
Yeah.
so that's what people might want, right? So that's
Well, or you know, the apps don't allow serendipity to happen.
Exactly.
Whereas
Yeah, it
don't
doesn't.
might say,
Yeah.
hey, you know, I don't
That's
like
exactly
this
right.
type of
Right.
person,
Yep.
but then you meet them in real life and
That's
you're like,
well, the
exactly
system
right.
is built.
Well,
not
I love
The
it.
system is built completely against serendipity and it starts with you because as well, height.
yep, height,
Hair color,
race,
Yes.
you know, it's
Yeah.
like, so
Educational
you've
level.
already, So and it
Children,
almost
no
forces you.
children.
And even if they didn't, I remember like because my approach to dating is like it doesn't because I can't go by height, race, you know, body type. I just want to meet and that those categories are not there. But obviously, I have my idea of what I find attractive.
Yeah.
But that's not something that they're not asking for an essay. They're just asking you
Right.
to like check
Well,
boxes.
box.
They are
Yeah.
asking
So
you
they're-
for an essay. You do get to write a lot about.
no, what I'm
yeah.
saying is like for
the
the match,
algorithm.
for the
Yeah.
algorithm.
Oh, for the algorithms
Yeah,
to match you.
I cannot tell an algorithm this is my type of woman because it goes by data, right? And it's a lot of this is not data. So the serendipity doesn't happen because it forces you, even if you don't want to, it forces you to categorize human beings into certain categories. And if the person that I would match well with is not in that category, then it's never going to happen. But
Yeah, but you would think that in the years that Akosua has been on the apps,
Mm-hmm.
you know, some of that artificial eliminating of the people that are right for her would have gone away just by the sheer
Yeah.
numbers
But remember
that
we
she'd
said,
be exposed
but remember
to.
it's like this dating apps are businesses. They're not interested in helping her find the right person for her. They're interested in her constantly being in that search.
That's so true.
Yeah, yeah.
So it doesn't-
Well, what I want to know is what happens. So, Ryan, I'm interested because obviously I know what happens as a woman on the apps. What happens with you? Like you have your own business, you know, like you're young, you're in a huge city with millions of women. What's going on when you try to match with somebody on the apps?
Everyone says, "Oh, I need to make money. That's how I should meet people, right?" I'm like, well, it doesn't feel any easier, even though I feel like I'm reaching goals to make more and
Oh,
do
that's
better.
very interesting.
Okay.
But you can't like really see unless they have some picture with some fancy ass car. You can't really see if someone has money on there, or you can't really get a lot of info from those profiles. But I don't know, even like height, you know, like I leave that off. You know, I'm 5'7", because I think, oh, if I put 5'7", the girl's not gonna be interested.
So you have the option to leave it off.
So I just keep it blank. If there's something I think that's gonna hurt me,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Smart.
I'm just leaving it off.
Don't play their game. That's right. Don't go into their game. But then, so once,
But if you do that, then I'm just curious. Not that we might know the answer to this, but if you don't put how tall you are, does the algorithm then say, oh well, we don't know how tall this guy is, so we're gonna show him to everybody regardless of what your height preference is? Or maybe the algorithm goes, these women are only interested in guys over 6'2". Since I don't know how tall you are, I'm not gonna even introduce you to them. Making it apps, and does it help or does it hurt? Actually,
I would think that it would help. I mean, I know it's a thing. To me, it's complete bullshit when a woman does not go out with somebody because he's 5'7" versus somebody who's 5'10". Like, really, you're going to make 3 inches determine whether you
3 inches can make a huge difference.
Shut up, Daniel. Oh my God. Okay.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself. You
I
just
think-
opened the door wider.
I know. I set myself up for that one. I think it's BS that, the height thing is even there. And frankly, I don't agree with the women who think that that's a big deal. So I'm kind of glad that you leave it out. But okay, so you leave it out. And then what happens? Why are you only getting 1 date a year, you think? Like, can you take me through the process?
So first, I had to learn how to get matches. Like, that was step 1.
How do you do that?
Well, first, I hired a photographer and took.
Smart.
Look at this guy.
Smart. We were just talking with another
Very
guest
enterprising.
about how
Wow.
men take the shittiest photos. So I'm so glad you did that. Okay, kudos.
And, I was just doing photography for my business, for marketing. But then I was like, hey, could you do some of me too for my profile? And he's like, sure. So and
Nice.
ever
So you got a
since,
professional photographer to do it, yeah.
yeah.
Actually,
I'm impressed.
when you did that, did you see a noticeable change in the number of matches right away once you changed the pictures?
Yes, right away.
Right. Is that crazy?
Wow.
We'll be right back after a quick word from our sponsors. Our sponsor, Take My Face Off, makes swiping off your makeup just as easy as swiping past a bad profile. Seriously, the MIDI from Take My Face Off is this adorable facial mitt that makes skin cleansing faster, easier, and more thorough than any other method I've tried. I seriously love this product. Next time you're tempted to grab a face wipe, use a MIDI instead. It's just as fast, but it's better for your skin and the planet. Get free shipping with the discount code DATING at takemyfaceoff.com. All right, so you got the professional photography, then what?
So after I did that,
Your prompts, did you have some help with those?
no, but I could see that helping as well. But like, I don't even know what to write. So
Yeah. A lot of men
I
just
think
leave
a lot
it
of
blank.
men don't know what to write.
Yeah.
Or they have somebody do it professionally, and you can tell when it's been done
Yeah.
professionally. But
Yeah.
I don't
Now,
mind that.
now
I
you
think
can just
that's
ask
great.
ChatGPT to do it
You
for
could just, ChatGPT
There you
it.
go.
I did actually do that once.
Yeah.
I just put a nice quote, and I put that quote on my profile.
Okay. I do have to say, nothing on their profile or like 1 or 2 prompts is like a immediate left
Me
swipe
too.
from me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, really? You had 6 opportunities to say something about yourself and you had nothing to say? What's our conversation going to be like? But anyway, sorry, no shade on you, Ryan. Go ahead.
It was like a night and day difference. And then, however, so then after that, I had to learn how to have a conversation that leads to a date, because you can spend a lot of time talking back and forth and it goes nowhere.
Yep.
And then you waste a lot of time. And I'm a busy business owner and I don't have time to swipe every day because I have other
And text.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so it became like a chore pretty much. And I don't have fun on those apps. Even if there is someone that I like in the profile or I'm attracted to, I don't want to be messaging them because it's like, it's not going to go anywhere or,
Oh, you already know it's not going to go anywhere.
well, I don't want to assume, you don't want to make yourself disappointed by getting your hopes up. It's just a number.
Why not try? If you're attracted to them, your experience has told you that that's a waste of time.
Yeah, don't put your expectation or your hopes up. Just keep swiping or keep having the conversation. And the only time I ever
sorry.
got a date, and it's like, but I know I have to try. So it's not that I'm not trying. It feels like a chore, but I'm trying. And so the only time I ever started
Yeah, but it
getting,
sounds like you're censoring yourself too. You're stopping yourself. So do you think that has any role in getting just 1 date a year?
yes, But like I said, I'm a busy business owner. Like as much as I want to go on dates, it's very time consuming.
It is.
And
It's
if
a
you don't-
numbers game.
And I found out if you don't respond just the right way.
So what do you
Yeah.
mean by that? I'm so curious about like what in your opinion is the process for texting someone to lead to getting a date?
So what I noticed is some people just have long conversations, but then it ends up going nowhere
Yep.
or not
That's
into a
most of
date.
it.
Yep.
So what I learned, because I actually have taken like courses from like dating coaches or whatever. And
Look at him working on
He's
himself.
really working. I have a lot of empathy now for
Yeah.
these guys.
See,
He's doing
see
all
how
the
hard we
right
have
things.
it. See how hard we guys
He's
have
doing
it.
all the right things.
He is.
Okay.
so,
So
yeah, we had to pay money to
Right.
us
I
guys have to
mean,
pay
this
money.
With
takes
everything
a
in
lot of
life.
money.
That's right. Excuse
That's
me.
true.
Women know all about.
We just spend money on different ways. But yeah, it takes
Yeah,
money.
it takes money.
Okay, now I lost my train of
No,
thought.
no, it's continue.
No,
You
so
took the
you're-
courses. I asked you about what is it that you've been doing or like to push the conversation towards actually getting a date. Like I'm really curious about that.
Oh, okay. So this is what I did. So the only way that I got matches that led to a date, I've actually had a few dates this year. This is the first year that it wasn't only once per year.
Oh.
So your strategy is working. It's getting better.
Yes.
Yeah.
The professional photos, the
Yeah.
dating coach. Okay.
And what I did was instead of having long conversations, I only send one text per day.
Mm-hmm.
And then if she replies, I don't reply back. The next day, I reply back. And then
Just keep going.
that's the thing, especially for business people or busy people like me, I only have 30 minutes per day to do this. So 30 minutes in the evening, I write a reply, and then the next day, same thing. And I have the same conversation with every single girl.
Yeah.
So to filter out all the ones that
What is the convert? You have certain like
copy and
things-
paste pretty much.
Holy crap!
What?
I literally copy and paste the answers.
So what are the
It's all
ans-
about effectiveness.
what are the answers and the questions?
Efficiency.
But this takes the magic
I can't
out of
give
it.
that
It takes
out.
the chemistry out.
oh, you're
what?
still looking for magic? Coach, come
Yeah,
on.
I'm looking for some kind of chemistry,
But
personality. like
that's where the disconnect is. I think also with dating apps, right? It's just that the with dating apps, the chemistry, all that stuff doesn't. It's all algorithms. It's all numbers and matches.
No.
once
come
you
on.
get
No.
into a
Yeah.
conversation with someone, there's a way to show some wit, some charm, something engaging. That's what's going to get me to go on a date with someone.
But it's not.
right?
But you see, the system is not set up to help you get the date that you want. The system is set up to make Ryan stay on the dating apps as much as possible, and for you to keep coming back, and for it to hope to stay alive. So the reason why Ryan does what he does, to think about it, right? Like think about the craziness of this. This is a perfectly fine human being, and owns his own business, and like it shouldn't be this hard for him to find a mate. However, he's got to go and hire a professional photographer to take pictures of him. He's got to hire a professional to tell him how to write stuff. And then he's got to cut and paste because it's about efficiency. Meanwhile, while the guys are like busting their butts, trying to figure out what's the magic formula, please world, please dating app, tell me how I can get that girl. The girl on the other end goes, oh, you're cutting and pasting? That's so unromantic, And so we're already lost.
Do you want a girl to copy and paste responses?
No,
to
I
you?
just want a girl to have huge boobs.
Oh my God. Okay, so anyway, Ryan,
No,
how
but
did you get
I say
these-
that half jokingly because listen, this is what I'm saying. I think men are conditioned to and we as a society, women are told from the beginning that you have to be pretty, you have to be beautiful. So what do? You work on your looks. Men are taught to be powerful, make money. So that's what we work on. Nobody's teaching anybody how to connect with each other. And then the dating apps are fucking it up even more because the dating apps have no incentive in trying to teach us how to connect with each other as human beings. It only has a motivation to keep us using the apps. So,
Daniel
So
Right?
look,
is
so look,
such a
I'm
negative
not,
Nelly today.
I was just gonna say I'm not that cynical about it.
Okay.
I think once I have a match in my box, I'm trying to connect with that person, and I want a real and genuine connection, and I will put an effort towards. It doesn't take that much, you know.
no.
It really doesn't
It's
take
like
that much to
texting
have
someone
a
back.
cute little conversation, and eventually, hopefully, it leads to a date.
but you speak from a land of plenty because
No.
no.
Where's the plenty?
No. This is what I'm saying. Because you start from the premise for women, the challenge is I'm getting too many.
that's not my world.
Right. But
Akosia
Jinah, it is.
I have
says-
0. There's,
yeah.
If you look at my box, there's nothing in
but
there.
also, but but part of that might be another circumstance that plays into that. But in generally speaking, when we're talking about men and women do get a lot more matches than men do. That's just the statistics,
true.
right?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is like we have two different difficulties. You have a difficulty of picking the right guy from all this. Like you are in the receiving end trying to filter. Men are trying to just get in through the door to even be looked at by you, right? So that creates this dynamic for men where we're trying to play the numbers game. I had a friend who's like, I made a job of right swiping 100 girls every day.
gosh,
It's a numbers game. They're not reading your profiles. I am just trying to get my door. So you see where the disconnect is, because then I'm already starting at a point where you're looking at my method as laziness when it's just what the system is making me do. And on your end, you want that because you've got 50 guys who might be interested in you, circumstances aside. But if you were to go to a city or a community where the beauty standards are different, just by the fact that you're a woman, you would get a lot more matches versus a guy in a similar situation.
Well, so let's talk about that, because Akosua, you looked up some articles that talk about Black women,
Yeah.
and is it Asian men? Black women.
Well, so this is a study that was done in, I think, 2016 or 2015 by OkCupid, actually. And they came out and said that the people who get the fewest matches are Black women and Asian men. And I think it even went further to say that Black women actually send out a lot of responses, but they get the fewest back, And I mean, that is true even today.
In your situation,
yeah,
it's
I
true.
mean, this is what I experience. I mean, if it's not outward racism, which I've also experienced, it's just this underlying either conscious or unconscious bias that's going on. I remember when I used to do Match. Like I would look at profiles of men where they've selected every race but Black. Consistently, tons of men, like every race but Black, and it's like, that used to bother me. Yeah. But I mean, that's also why I stopped using Match, because Match is, I think every app has its flavor,
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, what are you going to do with that? And it's like, I mean,
Boggles my mind. My mind is blown. I
So,
can't.
so I've really detached a lot, from it, because it's like, I see it as a way to meet people potentially, right? I don't see it as the only way. And I don't take it that seriously. So when I'm swiping, I'm like, oh, if I meet someone and they match with me, great. We'll chat. We'll have a good time. If we end up on a date, great. If we don't, that's fine. Like that's kind of where I'm at with it. So it's like,
How do you keep hope
you
alive?
have to be, yeah.
How do you keep that positivity? Do you find like other groups of women that are like, oh yeah, girl, me too, and then therefore you find a community? Or, like, how do you stay so positive despite all that? Which is like the question every woman.
It is really the question. Yeah. I mean, I think you really have to take a good look at yourself in the mirror and look at what you bring to the table and understand that there's so much at play. There's so many layers that are going into it. It's really not about you at all. It just is
Can't
not.
take it personal.
You
No, you
can't take
can't.
it
You can't take it
personally.
personal.
You can't sit there and be like, oh, nobody liked me. I didn't get any matches. You know what I mean? Like, it's just really not about you. It's really more like a video game where the worst of the worst of our society, like racism, ageism, heightism, whatever you want to call it, patriarchy, white supremacy, like everything is at play in this little video game.
Yes.
It's literally the worst way of picking people,
It really
which is
is,
why I
yeah.
say, like, I don't even know why I still do it, but
You
but
snack on
there's
it.
something
You're
yeah.
like, oh, I'm
it's also-
bored. I'm going to look.
But they're really good at bringing you back. It's like maybe this time it will be different, right? Maybe
They
this
are.
time.
They
yeah.
are good at bringing
Well, because
you back.
you are, and every time you enter the app, you're entering into a pool of possibility.
Exactly.
And that's how
That's
they lure
exactly
you
what
in.
it is,
That's
yeah.
exactly
Who's it going to
right.
be today?
Yeah.
Could it be Mr.
Because
Right
it's
today?
because it's like
Sounds like gambling or casino.
Yes, it is.
Gambling, especially if you're
exactly.
Am I
paying
going
for
to
it.
roll a 7 today?
There have been studies on that it's the dopamine that you get from the swipes
yeah.
is very similar to what you get in with video games and
Oh,
with slot
absolutely.
machines. It's the same. It's the same
I can attest to that
psychology, yeah.
because I can feel it. Like when I have like this online shopping thing where I know that I'm getting getting a dopamine hit. It's the same thing when I'm swiping sometimes. And I know that, and I tell myself, okay, you're doing this because in a way it's pleasurable for you. And you need to think about if you're actually looking for connection today, or if you're just swiping for relaxation. And either way, it's fine.
Swiping for relaxation.
It's fine. It's
you
like
have to
it
take it
helps
for what
me
it is,
turn my
right?
brain
Yeah,
off.
yeah.
As long as I'm conscious about and aware about what I'm doing, it's fine, And then it's like, but the problem is to not be aware of that and be doing that and then being like, it's not working, or this, it's no, that's really sad. You know what I mean? That's, I think, where people are really wasting their time and wasting their money if they're not being conscious and aware of like what all this really is, and then using dating apps as a minuscule tool. You still have to get out there and enjoy your life. You still have to get out there and try to meet people in real life. You know what I mean?
And life is what is happening and maybe passing you by while you're hyper focused on who I'm going to meet on the apps.
Yeah.
So
That's a shame.
I just don't understand how any of what you said makes it worse for men. And that's what we're trying to get at here.
He said he's trying to bring it back to the main. Well,
But,
look,
no.
I will tell you, it's
not relaxing.
It's not relaxing. See? It's not. Oh, thank you.
I'm a very specific type of
It is not
woman.
for him. It's
so
not
I think
relaxing
for
at all. It's
relaxation.
very stressed. Like, oh my God, is she going to swipe
But
right on
I
these
think
girls?
it's because, I mean, for me to sit here and listen to you, having gotten the professional pictures, having gotten a dating coach, which is like, it gives me a lot of empathy for you, but it also makes me feel like you're taking this way too seriously.
Right.
Oh, but that's what they need to do.
But here's the thing, though.
That's
But-
how
but
he's
maybe-
made it out of the
exactly,
80%.
yeah.
No,
It was
but
zero
maybe
before.
If you're gonna play
But
the
it was zero
game, if
before.
you're gonna play the game, you have to play the game all the way. Like,
That's right.
Yeah. So
You're going to get like obliterated.
otherwise, you might not as well even be on the dating apps. But to Gina's point, like I love what you said. It's like it's not personal, and Ryan, like you know that it's a game to a certain extent. So you're playing the game. You're getting like my photographer. I don't know how to take a picture, so I'm going to hire a photographer. I have money, so money is your tool.
Yeah.
So you can get the help that you need to be better at this game that we're all playing.
Even the
right?
dating
Yeah.
coaches told me, like, you need to have the same conversation on the first date with every date.
Right.
And you can literally
There's a system
control
to it,
their
yeah.
responses. Like, I'm a dog trainer for a living. I know what's going to get you
Yeah.
positive, or
Yeah.
what's going to get a reaction, what's going to get the result. So it's the same thing with women. You can, based on what you say,
It's
know
not,
what they're
it's not
going to
the
say.
same exact thing with women.
This is why,
he's trying to connect what he does for a living
right.
with
but this
Yes,
is
but we
why,
get your point.
I don't know. This is why I have such a, I don't know. I have like, I'm having a reaction to this, like the methodization
Yeah.
of this process to me. It's, who wants to do that? Like, why?
But it's the craziness. It's the
here's my
craziness of the
thing.
times we live in, though.
It is the
Yeah.
craziness of the times that we live in, but I guess a couple of things. I guess one, I'm 100% willing to be single. So maybe that's also the difference here. I'm like 100% willing to be single.
By the way, a lot easier for women than men.
To be single?
Yes.
What? Wait, hold that thought. Hold that thought and let me finish what I'm saying. The other thing I was going to say is the money, the time, the coaching, why don't you use a matchmaker? You know what I mean? Like this is all I'm saying. I'm just saying it's a
Yeah.
lot of effort to be
well,
putting
because
into something
matchmakers
like
are
a
like
dating app.
$20,000.
But if he
But also
has,
at the
if
end
he
of the
has
day,
the
yeah.
inclination
Yeah.
to use, not for a dating app, like it's a complete fucking joke. Like
I know dating
I think
apps are
that's
complete
where
Either way,
Sure,
it's
but-
money.
either way it's money, but one actually made results
Right, exactly.
in something. This
one is actually designed to get you to find someone, and the other one is a lot more expensive.
It's a jo-
but the other
yeah.
one is designed to not help you find
Yeah.
someone and for you to spend a little bit of money at a time. Yeah.
yeah.
But okay, so Ryan, how did you get the dates that you did? And then what happened on those dates? Are you currently dating somebody?
No, I'm not currently dating somebody. But to get those dates, what I found out was the more you say, the more you discriminate yourself or incriminate yourself.
Oh.
So like I found out as soon as I got the date set, literally shut up, because the next thing you say can make her change her mind. Or she'll be like, never mind.
See what you women have made us, into.
Well, I think also you're very socially introverted. So maybe,
Yes, of course.
interactions don't come easily to you,
Right.
right? Which
Yes.
is why maybe your dating coach kind of
Right.
steered
Yes.
you towards a
Yeah,
formula.
exactly.
Yeah, that's
something
like-
something that might
that-
work for him.
yes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
like you and I could talk about a paper bag.
I know
for 5
I know,
hours,
yeah,
right?
Yes, yes.
This is for someone like Ryan, who's more
I understand
introverted.
that. Yeah.
He
needs
needs
a little more
he needs a
coaching, yeah.
system.
I think
he
his
needs
I
a
probably would say
process.
something improper about the paper bag.
Yeah, and then Daniel would just
And
like,
then I'll just
we'd
get
be
in
like,
trouble.
oh my God,
Yeah.
you just canceled yourself. So you obviously at some point somebody has to know who you are, and you do have to be yourself, and you do have to start talking during a date, because a silent date nobody wants, because that'll also backfire on you, right? Like you could say something and piss a woman off, but if you don't say anything, that'll
That's
also
even
piss her
worse,
off.
yeah.
So how do you get
So
around
it's
that?
a lose-lose.
Well, welcome to our world.
Well, I mean, I think what Gina's saying is at some point you have to have an authentic conversation, right? And I think women can pick up on if something is not real, or if it feels like, I mean, women can tell, like, if you're doing something that maybe you're in the routine of doing, and that doesn't feel good, that doesn't feel sexy,
but
so
it's a catch-22 though for I think for both for women and men. But for men, here's the catch-22 is that you want us to be authentic, but I am pretty sure my authentic self would make you run for the hills. So
well,
then
you have to be willing to take a
then,
chance.
yeah,
Gosh.
right. No.
All men, we want to
so
run.
But do
theoretically,
you want to be
I
with
found
someone
out
who
being myself does not work.
Fair question. Fair question.
who doesn't
right?
want your authentic? What's the point?
Fair question. So, and both truths can live in the same space, and they might be contradictory.
Sure.
So, no, I agree with you. Like, why would you want to be with someone who you can't be authentic with? Why would you want to be in a world, in a relationship where you can't be authentic? For sure. But I think in order to even get the chance for me to be authentic, I have to be inauthentic in the first place to even get that attraction.
I mean, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to show up somewhere looking like in your like hoodie and like sweats.
True.
You're going to make a first impression.
That's right. Yeah.
But you're saying
But that discernment to you, that to so many women is like, why don't you guys just get it? It's like, men don't get it. Just get that through your thick skull.
which is
Men
why
just
we're
don't get
competing for
it.
the 10% that do,
Exactly.
apparently.
Well,
Jesus.
no. The 10% who have the 10% who have had the genetic, lottery and have the good genetics, and not
Oh
only
my
that,
God.
but I'm telling you, the men who
This
have the
is
pick of the
bleak.
litter, who all the women are going at, is not because they're being their authentic self. They just got really fucking good at being authentic.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Well, we
everyone-
are
And
just
that's the
fucked,
truth.
Akosia. You're fucked, and I'm fucked,
Yeah.
and she's fucked.
But the
I'm just
10%,
kidding.
like the 10% we're saying of the men who are getting all the attention, it's like, well, first and foremost, let's be honest, it's because they're good looking and
Yeah, I was just
everybody
gonna
wants
say
them.
that.
But then when you go into this fallacy, they say, oh, but they know, they got it. They didn't get it that they have to be authentic. They got it that this is what women want. This is what women want me to say. This
and
is
they're
how women want
copying
me
and
to act.
pasting. They
They're
say
copying and
this worked,
pasting,
so I'm going to copy that and paste it at the next date. It worked. I'm going to use that on another date. So when guys are going for dates, they just find out what works and they
works.
repeat it. And for those who didn't figure it out what works,
How romantic is that, of course? Yeah.
Oh, it's not. I mean,
Right.
and this is
Exactly.
why, like, I'm happy to be single. I mean, I just don't care. Like, I really don't, So it's like, I mean, the whole app thing, like, I really am approaching it like, yeah, it'd be nice, like, I'm open to going out on some dates. I'm even open to having some bad dates just so I can have experience. I mean, it's all practice, right?
Yeah.
But I mean,
It's all interaction.
Yeah.
You
Just
know.
don't get too invested in it emotionally.
don't get too
or,
emotionally invested in
See,
it.
I'm kind of in Ryan's camp. It's like, presumably you're on the app to make connections, to have a relationship, or at least a physical something.
Yeah.
So it's like, to me, it should have a little more levity than, oh, let me just see what's out there, and if it ends up being nothing, then that's okay too. It's not okay with me. I want
get
it to
it.
be.
I
I
get
want
that.
it to lead to something, and then I just don't know how you deal with the frustration. Can you tell me, Ryan, like, how do you deal with the frustration that you can't say anything and you can't not say anything, that you have to copy and paste and you have to spend so much of your resources trying to get something that's so evasive
Why are you looking at me?
and elusive?
I saw you
you're the
look at me.
problem.
I saw you look at
You're
me.
representing all the women who have rejected him to this point.
We're representing the women, Akosua.
Well,
Okay.
There's two answers, and I switch back and forth between these answers. One is like you just give up and you just stop the dating apps altogether and you just take a break from them, right?
Or try in real life.
Or try in
Yes.
real life.
Yes.
The other way is you just have to keep busy. You have to work on yourself and
That's right.
self-improvement, and you need to be busy and
Enjoy your life.
Enjoy your life. Travel.
have
Yeah.
friends,
and family.
You can't let it consume you.
You can't.
Yeah.
Because if you're too busy thinking, oh, how am I gonna get someone to like me, or like, oh, when am I gonna meet someone? Like, it'll just consume your every thought, and then you end
Totally.
up getting worse.
Well, the good news is there's somebody for everybody. Truly.
Truly.
Yeah, there's always an example of somebody where you're just like, I'm not sure about this guy. And then the next thing you know, they're married. Or, oh, this chick is a little weird. And then like they're married. You know, like there's somebody for everybody. So my wish is that we all find it.
It's just harder for some than others, and
It really is. No, that's true.
And most of them happen to be men. That's all we're saying.
Yeah, I mean, right now it is. Yeah, I mean, we can go into the anthropology of
I
it.
just don't know. Yeah, I just don't
Well,
know.
we have it
Because
worse
I
in
think-
different ways.
That's
Yeah,
what I was
yeah,
going to say.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I just think we both have it pretty bad, you
Right.
know, and it's like, and it's in different
You're
ways.
just as frustrated,
It's
but for different
yeah,
reasons.
and honestly, the reason why I think I've detached is because of the frustration.
Yeah.
You know, it's
You
like
just
I've been
can't let
there,
it eat you up.
and then I'm just like, oh,
And that's
I'm
why
not-
I said I detached, you know, and it became like a chore. And that's
Right.
why I copy and paste because
Yeah,
I
yeah, I
am
get it.
detached. It's like either I just stop or I have to keep playing
Yeah.
the game, keep playing.
Yeah, that's your way of just going, okay, that's what I can do to put one foot in front of the other. I'm just going to keep going the best way that I know how.
Right.
Right?
I get that.
And it's not like it's so inauthentic that, I mean, they're real answers, I would say, if
Got
I
it.
was actually asked that in person. It's not like I'm putting something that I made up, you know, I'm
No, I
putting
get it.
real things.
I'm just so surprised. It's really been eye opening to hear that. Like, and now I'm like looking back at some of the messages I've gotten. Like, I'm like, I wonder if like this guy was using this strategy, you know?
Yeah. Or it might be better than the typical things that we get, which is like, I'm good. How are you? Okay. Yes. And I know men get
know.
it
Or,
too.
You're pretty.
Yeah,
Saying
and
the same
all
thing
the-
over and over.
Yeah.
All
yeah.
the men tell me it's just as bad on their end where, you know, they're trying to have a conversation with the woman before
I've
they
heard that.
ask her out.
Yeah.
And then the woman's just like, I'm good, you know.
I've
So
heard
I
that,
know
yeah.
both of us get it. Anyway, haven't solved any problems yet
We
again.
haven't
We
solved it.
usually don't.
We usually don't solve any
you know,
problems.
but everybody learned something today.
yeah. And you know what? I would say
Definitely
it's a draw.
did.
I would say it's a draw.
I think
It's
it's
a draw.
Statistics
All right.
aside,
All
it
right.
sounds like our guests have really opened our eyes to the real struggles that could be on both sides.
I'll take a draw. I'll take a draw.
You're like, okay,
Wait,
we're equal.
I have to tell you a story though.
Okay.
Before.
Oh, yes.
I mean,
please.
because this might bring it over to our side, Jinah.
Oh, we might win. Okay.
So matched with this very attractive man on Hinge. He looks like probably like an NBA player or whatever.
Okay.
Like just very attractive, stylish, very interesting dude. We texted a little bit. And my thing is like I said, like I'm on there, like not to bullshit. So within a few texts, I'm like, you want a video chat? Because I don't know. Yeah.
right.
I don't know who you are, what you're doing.
That's right. Right.
Yeah. So he was like, yes. I was like, oh, okay. Maybe he's a real person, you know?
Yeah.
Right. That's the other thing. You want to make sure these are real
Yeah,
people.
and then it's the person that they're portraying as well. So I've had a lot of people that I've asked for video chats and they disappear.
Yep.
That's very concerning.
Yep.
Right. Right.
So we get on a video chat. Very handsome. He shows me his abs for whatever reason, which for me I was just like,
Okay.
you know, I'm like
Yeah.
so unnecessary. The guy was completely full of himself, right? And then all of a sudden we're in the middle of the conversation. He goes, "Oh shit," and we're cut off. And I was like, what just happened? And so, you know, and for me too,
Did his
I think-
mom walk into the
well,
room?
sometimes I continue because I just want the story, right? I'm like, oh, this is gonna be good. You know what I mean?
I want
So
this
was
story
like-
now.
So he's texting me, oh, my phone died. So I just call him right back, and he picks up, and I hear a woman in the background,
Oh, shit.
and he hangs up. And I'm like, oh, I got your number. Your girlfriend just came home.
Oh, yeah. Or
And
wife.
or wife, right?
or,
and he's
or,
like,
or his other side chick. I mean, who knows?
so.
Maybe he just goes around showing his abs, and sometimes it works, sometimes it
No,
doesn't.
that's not. It's not
But
the
I mean,
oh shit
also,
response.
how stupid do you think we are? My
that's
phone
right.
died. Well, if your phone died, why did you pick up when I called you back?
I guess that makes
So
ghosting
we
feel
win.
not as bad.
What a jerk.
relative.
What a disgusting person.
Have you had a really bad ghosting or like
Well,
crazy
'cause-
story?
So I've tried to get dates with people, and you know, some of them gone through, but a lot of them, they just ghost you. They don't even give you the
All day
courtesy to
long.
say,
That sucks.
hey, you know, never mind, or it's not working out, or oh,
Yeah.
I don't want to go on the date after all. They just literally block you,
Yep.
ghost you.
That
Well, it-
sucks.
I even had a date scheduled, and
Didn't show
she
up.
didn't even show up. She didn't even have the courtesy
Yeah.
to say, hey, I'm not coming.
No,
That
it's
sucks.
like what you said, Akosua, earlier. It's like it's really dating apps just bring out the worst
The
of human
worst.
nature
'Cause you can just hide
Laziness.
behind a
Yeah,
screen.
because it like the person on the other side of this is not a person. It's just a number, a profile. So like I'm not
That's
really
horrible.
I'm not really being rude to a human being. I'm just like it's just a game. I'm just turning it off.
And you have to
know?
protect yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
do. You do.
Yeah, but
Put
it's
that
like
wall.
what Akosha said. It's like don't take it personally. Like and it also reflects the biases, the prejudices that our society has. So the fact that Black women and Asian men have the worst on dating apps is just a reflection of our society's values.
Yeah.
What we think is sexy, what we think is desirable, and so if you allow that to affect you, to affect your own self-worth, I used to say this. Like, whenever I saw some Asian dude like on social media going, woe is me, Asian men are never considered sexy. I'm like, yeah, dude, there's nothing sexier than self-pity. Really.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's like man up, it's like,
Yeah.
who cares?
Yeah.
Well,
so,
I mean, you say that because you're somebody who's had an easier time getting relationships, though, yeah? Despite being an Asian
It
man.
takes a lot of self-improvement to get beyond that
Yeah.
that self-pity or whatever the guy is working on.
Yeah.
It does.
Like a lot of self-improvement to display the right qualities.
Well, and I
But
think you're on
starts,
that path.
but I think it starts with what you said. It's like
Yeah.
don't take it like, and especially with dating apps. It's like I mean, we can all agree that dating apps suck for that reason. Is that it exacerbates everything that's so horrible. So you really have to approach it from don't take it personal. It's just a tool. If it relaxes you to just swipe the grid, it gives
I might be
Ryan
weird
the
like
creep.
that.
Yeah, Ryan gets the hives when he does it.
She's
So
in
he
a
shouldn't.
tub.
Yeah.
So
It's
tough.
Right.
It's so hard for a woman. It relaxes.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, I just don't take
So-
it that seriously.
yeah, you just got
No,
to
but
a
that's the trick.
position
You
where.
can't take it too
Yeah.
seriously.
I'm like, oh, that's a nice face. Oh, I don't like that face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he wrote something interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but this has been really wonderful.
Yeah.
I
Very
know the fight
eye-opening.
is real. I know it's tough out there, and I really appreciate the vulnerability and opening up to. And trust me, everybody listening is just like, yep.
Yeah.
We're all in the fight with you. Thank you,
Yeah.
Ryan and Akosua.
Thank you guys so much.
Yeah,
Thank
this
you.
has
It's
been
been-
a
Yeah.
really great episode.
Yeah.
Thanks for the
of
invite.
Dating Apps.
Yes. It went by really quickly.
Can't live with them.
Can't love without them.
Can't live without them.
This has been I Hate Dating Apps.
Have a good day, everybody.
I hate dating apps.
Hey, app daters and haters, tell us your dating app experience, and we just might bring you on as a guest for future episodes. Head to IHateDatingApps.com and click on the big yellow Tell Us Your Story button. You can't miss it. We've got a lot of fun content on our social channels, so please follow us at I Hate Dating Apps on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. And on Instagram, we're at I Hate Dating Apps Pod. And don't forget to like and subscribe wherever you're listening to this podcast.